This is a video walkthrough for our jazz sight rhythm transcription project. In this project, you're going to take the jazz sight rhythms that you now know, and you're going to use them to transcribe some rhythms in Noteflight. So let's look at the project page. So you see here we have a Noteflight document. Now you can edit this, but you can't save it. So what I recommend doing is going here to where it says full window. You click that, and it's going to open up Noteflight in its own tab. And then you click on hamburger just like before, go to score, and then save a copy. And this is going to allow you to actually save to your own Noteflight account. All right, so now we have our document here. There are 48 different 4-measure examples in this project, and they are organized from the least difficult to the most difficult. The way that we organize them is as follows. So the unsyncopated sight rhythms, those are sight rhythms A, B, D, E, and H. Those are first. And then the syncopated sight rhythms are C, F, and G. Now, any of those sight rhythms can be tied together. So like sight rhythm A can be tied to sight rhythm B. So instead of having A, da, do, dot, and we have B, do, dot, it becomes A, da, do, da, do, dot. So the beginning of the second sight rhythm turns into a sustain, and the syllable of the first sight rhythm changes a little bit. So we had A, da, do, dot, B, do, dot, A, da, do, da, do, dot. All right, so that's one way to alter sight rhythms, is to tie them together. Another way is to turn any of those attacks into a rest. So if I have my first sight rhythm A, I could do A, da, do, da. I can take out the first one, and I have da, do, da, or da, do, dot, sorry. And so that's another way to alter them. So if you look at our document, they are organized in that manner. Let me zoom in a little bit here, make it easier to see. So we have our unsyncopated rhythms. We have the unsyncopated with rests, unsyncopated with ties, unsyncopated with rests and ties, syncopated and unsyncopated, and then so on and so forth. And the last 4 are syncopated and unsyncopated with ties and rests. So here's what you're going to do. There is a drum part here and a piano, and they are going to play. Oops, don't want to do that. I just want to listen. So you can highlight where you want to listen and just press space bar. All right, that one's really easy. So we had da, 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 da. The first thing you need to do is you need to get your foot tap into the beat. And then you can either try to feel the sight rhythms, or you can transcribe these individually. But I had da, 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 da. I had E dot, E dot. So I had 2 E's, and that means that it's quarter, 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 quarter. Also matched up with the kick drum there. So we have instructions here on how to edit. You're going to use the letter B on the typing keyboard, and that's going to give you a note. So I typed in B, and that gave me a note, but it was a whole note, and I don't want a whole note. In Noteflight, if you need to change the value of a note, you are going to use the bracket keys. So this bracket key here is going to make a note a shorter value. So I changed it, and now it's a half note. If I do that again, it becomes a quarter note. So I'm going to do a quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, and there's my rhythm. Now if I needed to change any of these into an eighth note, let's say one of these was an eighth note. Hold on, let me get out of play here. You need to press stop in order to really get into edit. If I wanted to turn any of these into eighth notes, again, you would just press the this bracket, not this one, but this one, and it makes it a shorter note value. And you see that it deleted that one, so you have to go in and press B. Now, if I wanted to make any of these into a tie, you press comma. So I'm pressing comma, and now these are tied. And if you needed to make any of these a rest, like if it was sight rhythm D, but the first one was a rest, you would highlight the note you want to make a rest, and you would just press delete on your keyboard, and then it's gone. It turns into a rest. So what I would recommend doing is working through these a little at a time. Don't try to do the entire 48 4-measure page, because that's going to make you go crazy. There will be a point where you run into some difficulty, and what I recommend doing there is take a break, go back and look at your sight rhythms, try to hear them as chunks. It becomes difficult when rests and ties are thrown in there, but these are most of the rhythms that you're going to hear in music that you're going to transcribe. So when you're transcribing these, you're getting much better at transcribing the rhythms that you're going to hear out in the wild, out in the solo or in a melody.